Hello dear colleagues, today I want to present you our work on the topic implementation of swarm intelligence methods for preprocessing in neuroevolution synthesis. And we must start this topic talking about some benefits and advantages of using artificial neural network for different diagnostics tasks. As you can know, many of these tasks can be represented as a classification task. So usually we talk about medical image analysis, disease diagnostics, medical signal processing, and drug discovery and development. And only then something like forecasting modeling. Secondly, we can talk about using of swarm intelligence for neurosynthesis. Usually we talk about using some approaches and benefits of these technologies. Something like self-organization, adaptation and reliability, research and operation, and only then something like computer-aided design of synthesis of artificial network and using optimization techniques. So, generally, when we try to combine this, we must say that we can use some techniques and strategies of swarm intelligence in different stages of neurosynthesis include preprocessing, optimization, some hyperparameters, and even fine-tuning of presynthesis model. But in this case, we will talk only about the preprocessing, and we must say that nowadays we can use different methods of swarm intelligence for preprocessing and working with the data. In this slide you can see something like comparing of practical swarm optimization, ant colony optimization, and Firefly algorithm. This is one of the most popular swarm intelligence methods. And as you can see, Firefly algorithm not so young, but this is some like new idea of swarm intelligence methods which came after previous two, and you can see that it more flexibility in some cases and some benefits of previous methods. So the general idea of method very simple, and you can see that we try to compare it in 4 stages: attraction, moving towards brighter solution, randomization and research, and global optimization. The main idea of these methods can make it even more flexibility, and some benefits of swarm intelligence like self-organization and changing the line of forward can be more interesting in these methods. But we propose to use some different strategies during work with Firefly algorithm. For example, we propose to use Lewis flight. Lewis flights, it is something that can make this method more stochastic in the beginning, but in the future it will take more and more variants of working of this method, and for preprocessing optimization it must be a good idea. In this slide you can see the 4 main stages of working with Lewis flight during working with Firefly algorithm. It starts with Lewis flight generation, so Lewis flight using for generate the direction of our agents. Second stage, this is movement of fireflies. Third stage, exploration and expectations, and fourth stage, update position and iteration. All the stages are more represented on the slide and you can see it, but the general idea it is making first iteration of preprocessing of the data more stochastic to have more and more abilities in the future. In this slide you can see the data sets which we're using for testing, and we use different data sets. What is more interesting, we use some data sets where number of feature and number of instance are very similar. This idea represents some data sets with very nearly connection between the features and instance. In this slide you can see some results of the test. As you can see, in all cases when we didn't use some feature selection, the time are more faster if we use some methods of swarm intelligence for preprocessing of the data. What is more interesting, in the case when we have the very similar number of features and instance, we have no such less time. Because usually when we talk about some sets, when we have the very similar number of instances and features, the connection between data are very similar and very difficult to choose what the features are not so information about the data. And what is more interesting, you can say that in the different cases error in test sample was very similar. So we can talk about using of swarm intelligence for preprocessing can make time of synthesis faster, but not so important for the error. As a conclusion, we must say that in our work we try to represent of some benefits and advantages of using different swarm intelligence techniques for neuroevolution synthesis of neural network. In this case, when we talk about using even very standard method as a Firefly algorithm with some modernization as using Levis flight, it can bring us resistance to the noisy input data and explaining some connection between the data before neural network synthesis. In the future, it can bring us more and more accuracy solution. And this is all, and I thank you for your attention.